So Claire, it looks like you're here again. What can I do for you today?
You know, I'm not sure if I can make my rent this month. You know, last month we barely paid the rent, but then, you know, thankfully we were able to pay it off. But then this month I'm really afraid that we're not going to make it. And then there's food too that I don't know how I'm going to provide for my kids. And then my husband, he's saying that he's looking for a job, but then with all this legal stuff.
Food and husband, so what's going on here? Sounds like there's triggering a lot of stress out there.
I'm really scared that I'm going to lose my place. I mean, I don't know.
I always get this from you, where you're always, you know, blaming others, and you know, it's the Serenity Prayer. You know, what can you do? We've already been working together for the past month, and it seems like you know, you're not going with some of the suggestions on your treatment plan. Is there anything going on there?
I don't really know. I mean, you know what? All I'm thinking about right now is I have to pay my rent, and because I can't lose my place.
If you want, you know, again, here we have this resource package that we have available to you. You know, again, you can sift through it. There's a lot of home.
That's a lot of paperwork, though. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. I really need to pay now.
Life is hard, and paper, you know, that's part of it. And so, you know, again, you know, the resources are there. It's just if you access it. So, and if there's a reasons for you having problems accessing it, then maybe we need to look at what's going on there. Man, Claire, noticed when you walked in today, you seemed a little bit more stressed than usual. What's going on?
Yeah, well, I think we can't make rent again today. I mean, for this month, because, I mean, you know, like, I was borrowing money from my sisters, but then now I can't borrow, and I mean, I can hardly provide food for my kids, and then my husband, you know, he can't even find a job because of all this legal stuff. But my main thing right now is I don't know how I'm going to pay for my rent this month.
Well, I feel like, yeah, even when you're like kind of describing all the things you're going through, it's just this heavy burden. And yeah, feel free. I could see why you'd come in this morning feeling that way. But you know, you've been a part of this program already the past month, and you've overcome certain challenges. You know, like in the past when you wouldn't be able to make rent, you built up the courage to ask your family for help, and they assisted you. And you know, looks like there's some, you know, a lot of issues going on. Maybe we can identify like what those issues are, kind of see which ones you can approach, and then also the things you need assistance more from us, and what we can find for you. Is there any things like specifically that you need? Because it sounded like, you know, was it rent, finding food?
Well, you know, with the food, I mean, I can always go to, you know, food bank, and then, you know, from my church, and then also I mean, my sisters are open in providing food, you know, for us. But I think I'm really scared, you know, I don't want to get evicted. I mean, I know with my kids, I can't, I'm really scared. I can't bear seeing my family not having a home.
Yeah. And then seeing this too, where one, you're already, as the mother of the family, you're already looking out, which is good, you know, again, continuously identifying resources that you have. And already, like, one of your main concerns is putting food on the table, you know, because that's something you got to deal with every day. And so we're glad to see that you're able to do that. With the rent, it seems like there's a little bit more questions there, so maybe we can identify certain programs. I think there's this loan program out there. We can go check it out. There's a lot of paperwork to sift through, but you know, like if I got this thing, I probably wouldn't fill it out myself. So maybe we can look over it together, see, you know, if it's doable, see if it's exactly what you need at this point. Because again, you know, we have 1 month to think about. And if this program doesn't work out, maybe we can think of some other alternatives as well. So just in case this one doesn't work out, there'll be other backup plans.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, it does look overwhelming, but then if you're going to help me look through it, and then, I mean, as one of my options, and I'd also like to look for other options of how I can deal with this, I mean, with me paying rent. I mean, I'd be open to that too.
That's what individuals are for. So we could focus on those issues and then see where they go. All right.
So, you know, I'm really glad you came in today, Al, because I've been really concerned about Joe and your program.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's, you know, like the other 3 messages that you left, I mean, I accidentally erased them, and you know, here it just got really busy. So, but you know, I'm here right now. So what can we do? What are you?
Well, yeah, I'm glad you were able to make the time. You know, but you know, we've been really struggling with recovering from meth, and you know, it's really unfair because you keep expecting to show up and see the doctor, and you know, we have program requirements over here too. you know, and so it's been really difficult trying to get him over to your program all the time.
The way your program is set up, though, I mean, does your program have a specific doctor that can, you know, prescribe methadone? Because again, here, you know, that's one of the abilities of our program is to be able to prescribe those things that your group doesn't. So, you know, I think it is a little bit more of a priority for him to make those doctor's appointments versus going to these process groups.
Well, I mean, I know, I mean, that's why we have to, that's why we need you to really help us out, but, you know, but we're doing important stuff too. You know, and it's like, you know, you can give all the, you know, all the drugs in the world, all the medications, and that is really important, but it's so important that he also learns the skills.
No, I mean, we do see those points, and it's just, again, our doctor is very limited time here, and so it's just, you know, one of those added pressures of trying to get him to see the most clients at that time, and so we appreciate it again. So, you know, we could try to work it out, but then if you could just be that much more considerate of our concerns here and what we're able to provide the client.
No, it's about us. Us. So, okay, so that's our first little kind of sample here. So now we're going to shift it a little bit. And okay, well, Al, thanks for meeting with me today. I'm really looking forward to figure out how we can keep working together with Joe. And I'm, you know, really, this is important because I'm really relieved, and he signed a release for us to talk today.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate
what's best for him.
Calling and stuff already, because then, yeah, it's already been, Joe's here been for a week, and we noticed where there were some issues with him making the appointments, and, you know, we want to make things work out best, because, you know, when folks are mandated to go from one program to another,
Yeah.
you got kind of crazy on their part. So, I mean, if, by us talking here,
Yeah.
maybe we can find a way to make it easier for the client to make the best of both worlds.
Yeah, well, I know, I think what's really been hard is that, you know, with this program, it's a really structured program, and he's been doing okay, but we have a lot of required stuff that he has to attend, and I think part of what we've been struggling with is he's been here attending and doing really well, and yet then he also needs to go to all his other appointments because he has all these other needs, and we're just trying to figure out, we really strategize what's the best way to get him here and doing his stuff, and also at the other places, so he gets what he needs, but also meets all the requirements. And so
No,
it's his
definitely.
tension.
Kind of helps to relieve that too. We're like, because then again, he's only been here a week, and we're kind of questioning like, oh, what is his motivation to be here? But then knowing like he's already doing good in your program since he's been there for a while, maybe there's things that we need to look at, you know, as far as addressing for him. You know, yeah, the doctor's only here maybe once every 2 weeks, so maybe we can make particular arrangements. But also, you know, and then also knowing, you know, what are your days? Because to be honest, I don't know. I don't know your days, and you know, so I mean, know what you go do is good, but again, I'm, you know, caught up in my own world here, trying to get our clients to where they need to go, and kind of not, you know, thinking about what you know, other responsibilities they have.
Right, that's true. It's hard to kind of know all the picture. And the thing is, I'm really where, you know, I'm his primary case kind of coordinator. So maybe what I can do is really look at all those groups that he's doing here, the ones that absolutely fit, and then maybe I can think about with our team kind of negotiating and working in some of your stuff into his overall master plan, so to speak. In fact, you know what we should do is, do you actually have your treatment plan for him? Because you know, got released. Maybe we can look at how our plans are working together, and then, you know, come up with something that he might agree with too.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, I can actually, once I get the, you know, the consents from our side, I can send them over. But then also too, helping the treatment plan to see like, what does the client want?
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Like, oh man, you know, like so.
Yeah, I mean, because, you know, Joe's, I think, really struggling with this too, and our treatment plan, you know, is supposed to reflect his stuff, but I know a lot of times if we don't share them, it gets really hard. Like, we may be doing something that you're doing differently, and we don't even know it, and that's going to get really more confusing for him too.
That too, I can also find out what's cool about the client. Because then always like kind of seeing, I mean, even though we can work it on our side, just seeing other positive things other agencies have seen, and so that way I can work those tidbits there and then try to encourage them, you know, see what he wants from this place too.
Yeah, if I know Joe, I mean, he likes to talk. I mean, he's always talking.
Yeah, he's a talker, but
he's a talker.
Cool.
Yeah, I think he'd really actually appreciate that. I mean, I could see him really enjoying actually, one, you know, kind of having us work together and getting that extra attention. I mean, I think that's something that actually really motivates him to get engaged more. People really believe in him. So I think if we got our plans together and we showed it to him, he'd probably get a big kick out of it in like a way that's really motivating.
Oh yeah, and I think too, even if one of these days like we go hang out and then you know, have Joe in there in the meeting, you can see us in the same place. I mean, I know it's kind of hard, but you know, that way you can see us all in the same place, and maybe you'll, you know, enjoy the atmosphere too.
Well, that's important too. Yeah, exactly. Kind of we're all on the same team. So. All right, thanks, Al. You're the greatest. Okay, so
I'm really glad you called me today because I'm really concerned about a client at your program.
Oh no, definitely. I appreciate the call because then we've been working with Joe for a while, and then just making the connection with his counselor on the other side, making it that much better to provide services for him. What are some of the concerns that you have?
Well, she's been recovering from her meth use, and it's really unfair that she's expected to show up and see the doctor when she has groups at the program she can't miss.
Yeah, no, definitely. We kind of noticed that here, where she's having some conflict making some of the sessions here or appointment with the doctor, and like usually we'd have some issue, but then we understand that she's another program. Is there anything like when we can get to know some of the things about your program, like when she's required to be there, so that way we can try to make some adjustments on our side, so that way it's a win-win for both of us. When are some of the days she's required to be at your program?
Well, she's required to be here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
All right, no, definitely. We didn't know that before, and it's one of those things. The clients are always being sent one place to another, and it's kind of a juggling act for them. So we can make it any easier for them. So what I'll do is I'll talk to my supervisors. See, instead of being here on Wednesday, we can try to move it to another day. And see if that relieves some stress off of the client, because again, they got to be to 50 different programs, and if we can make it any easier. So what are some of the things you dig about Joe? Because he can be so off on some days, but is there anything since he's been there longer that you guys kind of like about him, or some of his strengths and stuff, so that way we can just vibe off of that over here?
Well, I'd say that even with his struggling to remain clean, that he does a really good job of still spending time with his family and spending time with his kids, and he does manage to make daily NA meetings outside of the program for extra support.
Yeah, we kind of see those pieces in it, but I didn't know about him being like a family person, so that way, maybe next time we're in an individual session, we can kind of put some tidbits in there and see if we could bring out another light, because he's still adjusting to this program, and we understand where he's kind of getting his feet wet, so we just want to be able to show that we're trying to relate to him on another level. So I do appreciate the communication, but it's always nice to meet people on face to face. So here at ours, we like eating lunch. So if you ever want to drop by,
ours is paying the guests.
Oh yeah. But then also too, just on that tip, meet with the client too, because then like eating is therapy, and then when they can see two different two different folks from two different places in one place, might be a good fit for them. But I know you got crazy hours over there, so feel free to drop by. Don't be no stranger.
Well, it's good to connect with you over the phone.
Definitely. Right.
I'm not sure what we got lost. I got lost.
So think about, look, we're doing the ones that the negative practice, I can do the other practice.
Oh, we got to do negative? Okay, yeah, I can
Yeah.
do negative. Okay, my bad. I thought we
No,
okay.
we're doing that.
Okay, we'll go
Okay.
negative now.
All right. Well, that was kind of how it started, actually. It was supposed to be negative practice. Maybe I
Yeah,
missed
sorry
a
about that.
page.
I went straight to
Listen to
positive.
Yes.
that's what you
That's
just
how
said,
it's
stream
done.
based,
That's
just
what
stream
I'm
based,
Okay.
do that.
All right, we go negative now.
Well, the negative portion of, okay, well, you called me, and I'm really glad you came in today because we've been really worried about a client at your program.
Yeah, Joe is just, we're doubting his motivation to be in this program because he's already missed 3 out of the past 4 sessions. He said he'd be able to work out the hours between the 2 groups, but it's not working out. And, do you guys have the same problem with him over there?
Well, he has a lot of doctor's appointments, and it feels really unfair because he has to miss a lot of the groups in order to make the appointments, and then he has your groups over there. So I mean,
sounds like he's giving a lot of excuses on your side, huh?
It feels like he's not really committed to his recovery
No,
at this point. So I don't know if you guys get
One
that
of
too.
those clients again.
Yeah.
Don't you always get those?
Yeah, no, we get those a lot here too.
Yeah, so, but definitely, I know we're trying to work together for him, but if you guys plan on discharging him, just let us know, or if he's been written up, let us know those things, so that way, we can give a heads up to the other counselors and know what to deal with when those issues come up in groups or in individuals.
Okay.
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, just kind of